know what you're thinking. Dude, you said Crisis Core was next. Well, true, and I did say I would do a review of To the Moon after Mortal Kombat 11, but anyway, Before Crisis and Crisis Core take place around the same time before the events of the original Final Fantasy VII, and this movie that I'm reviewing takes place after the events of the original game. So why this slight change of plans? The coronavirus. Yeesh, where did this come from? I mean, from my understanding, it's like the flu, only worse. And as of the time of this upload, there is no vaccine yet, at least. And not only that, but in China, hospitals were turning away patients with cancer, diabetes, and other illnesses in favor of patients with the coronavirus. Yeah, it's sad. Now, here in the States, E3 has been canceled, businesses have closed, and even churches are canceling in-person gatherings in favor of online sermons. I did say this movie, right? Yeah, they made a movie on Final Fantasy VII. Without further ado, let's get right in. Oh, and I will be reviewing the complete version. So what does the coronavirus have to do with Final Fantasy VII? Well, you'll see what I mean very quickly. The movie opens up with Final Fantasy VII's post-credits scene, which is 500 years later. Yeah, Final Fantasy VII had a slightly ambiguous ending, but I guess now we know what's canon, but I did say 500 years later, right? Well, after seeing the opening scene, this movie actually takes place 2 years after the first game. Now get this, geostigma is the reason why I bring up the coronavirus. This movie's plot surrounds this disease, and what it basically is it's sort of a skin disease, kind of. There is an occasional spazzing out moment here and there, and even bleeding black blood. Okay, maybe not black blood, but ooze, we'll call it that. Mostly kids in the movie have this disease, and so does Cloud. The disease has no cure. It is speculated within the movie itself that the disease came from the life stream, which is a natural resource for the planet Gaia. Heck, you can even say it's the planet's blood. And the people who have the disease came in contact with Gaia's infected blood cells. There are 3 antagonists, led by Kadaj, in this movie, and they are basically fragments of Sephiroth, the main antagonist of the original game. Their goal is to bring back Sephiroth from the livestream. Yes, people who passed away reside in it. So Sephiroth could basically become a god. I will talk more about that in Crisis Core. Though, it is actually a bit more complicated than just being a god. I mean, more details, but anyway, Sephiroth does come back, but is defeated again. The cure for the disease is healing rain that Aerith provided from beyond the grave. The main character is once again Cloud, and the version of Cloud in this movie is how he is defined by popular culture, but that is actually a misconception. Sure, in this movie, Cloud has low self-esteem and self-loathing, and I get it. He had a rough life. He lost his hometown, he lost someone he looked up to, and even a love interest. But he is actually a very dynamic character. I mean, in the original game, he actually was not quite self-loathing, and from my experience, he only says not interested like twice maybe. The other times he says it is a dialogue option. He may have been serious at points, but he did have a sense of humor. Like, he said, "Let's mosey" at the end of the game, for crying out loud. Though what I saw in this movie, and this is the beauty of it, and I've seen this movie multiple times, Cloud has very supportive friends.
逃げないで一緒に戦わない？
クラウド、諦めないで。
So what is the difference between vanilla Advent Children and Advent Children Complete? Well, the original Advent Children had a weakish story, but the complete version fleshes out the story and fills in a few plot holes, which I'm still not buying President Rufus surviving the explosion in the original game. My main reason for watching this movie is the presentation. Like, one thing I always like seeing from squareenix is their animation. I mean, when I played Kingdom Hearts 3 on release, I was looking forward to just seeing the intro with the song Face My Fears. Not only that, but I also loved Kingsglaive for its animation, and as for this movie, it looks great today, though I have to admit, after watching Kingsglaive and then looking at the Final Fantasy VII Remake, technology has obviously improved, but I would say this movie has aged well. The complete version also updated a few of the animations.
はい、ストライフデリバリーサービスです。
As for the soundtrack, I mean, come on, why wouldn't it be good? Nobuo Uematsu, forgive me if I butchered it, composed it. For this review, I watched it in Japanese because the English dialogue has a cheesy line here and there.
違う。そうな。俺たちも聞いてないぞと。ほら、やっぱりどこかに隠してるんだ。
Thing Shinra made.
Oh no, you're just too clever.
Except, you're wrong.
And wherever she is, we just don't know. What? The peons aren't trusted?
Other than that, the English voice acting is not bad. I mean, the voices fit the characters pretty well. I'm gonna give this movie a 7.5 out of 10. It is a good movie, but I also can't help but think that this may have been made in response to the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Well, demands of the Final Fantasy VII Remake, rather. Great animation, though at the same time not quite the strongest story the Final Fantasy series has to offer. And it's quite a special interest to fans like me, and maybe not so much for the general audience, so to say. Now, as for the coronavirus, I wish you all good health, keep your hands washed, and yourself clean. Also, I apologize for those of you that do not believe in this, and I mean no judgment, but I know this would encourage some people watching this. Stay safe, and if you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Bye.
もう大丈夫だね。